morning, everyone. It's a beautiful late September morning. Actually, the end of September. We were driving home from the Indianapolis area. We just delivered a big military contract at a place called Camp Atterbury, just south of Indianapolis. About 18 pallets of freight, no big deal. And headed back up to southeast Michigan, where it's about 10 or 15 degrees cooler. It was in the 70s, low 70s in Michigan yesterday, and mid 80s in Indiana. In Indianapolis, I should say. Where it's still basically the summer. So you go 4 hours south and you go back a month in terms of the weather. So just a quick video. You're probably hearing all about the new 2023 Duramax. The specs are starting to leak out. And different people are talking about different numbers. They're saying, well, it might have something like 505 horsepower, 1,087 pound-feet of torque. I think that's the latest number we've heard. And people are super excited that, there's finally a Duramax that has 500 plus horsepower and 1,000 plus pound-feet of torque. And they're getting ready to go down and to the dealer if and when it becomes available. If the microchips shortage ever gets sorted out, and throw down $80,000+ on a new Duramax. And I guess the reaction from here is, are you serious? There are some people that actually need that much power and that much torque. Somebody who tows maybe a flatbed that they load up with a container down at the port and deliver somewhere. And they need to actually drag the weight of a fully loaded container, and they're pulling 30,000 pound trailers or 35,000 pound trailers routinely. And not just the weight, but the drag. The front of that container, it's basically like towing a house or like towing a barn. There's a massive amount of aerodynamic drag, and it puts huge amounts of loads on your engine. But for the average truck buyer who buys a 2,500, 3,500 series truck, do you actually need 1,087 pound-feet of torque? And the answer is obviously no, you don't. And so before you go down to the dealer and sign away your life savings, I guess you should ask yourself the question, could I live with something that's maybe 5 or 6 or 8 or even 10 years old? And will it really kill me to get a truck that has, like this 2011 LML, 397 horsepower and 765 pounds of torque? Do you really need 25% more horsepower? Do you really need about 30% more torque, 35% more torque? And again, for most people, the answer is absolutely not. So, we've got 10 years now of really, really good Duramax engines on the road. From 2011 to 2016, we had the LML. It started out in the GMT 900 or 910 series trucks, which got a brand new frame, brand new suspension in 2011 when the LML came out. It got a new body style in 2015, and then the LML was replaced in 2017 by the L5P, and that went from 397 to 445 horsepower, and then the torque went from 765 to 910. And the L5P was a tremendous boost in power and reliability because they got rid of that CP4. They went from Bosch to Denso for the high pressure pump and the injectors. Tons and tons of new technology in that engine. Very, very strong running engine. They got a 10-speed transmission, I think, in 2018, if I'm not mistaken. And then the engine was again substantially revised in the, I think, 2020 timeframe, when the body style was changed once again to the new one, the current one that's out on the street, which is just the most hideous looking truck practically of all time. It's about as bad as the Pontiac Aztec. It's the worst looking front end probably ever seen on a pickup truck, which you can obviously avoid by getting the GMC. But again, with all these trucks, all these options you have available, you can get a 2020 with that gigantic 28-inch fan and tow 30+ thousand pounds. You can get a 2017, the first L5P. You can go back to a 2015 or 16, which is the LML with the new body style. And you can go as far back as we did and get the 2011 LML. And we are loading our trailer, a 48-foot trailer, which you can kind of see in the mirror there, up to a combined weight of just under 26,000 pounds. Delivering essentially 18-wheeler sized loads of freight to our customers. And this 10-year-old truck has absolutely no issues. It is never under strain. It never feels overloaded. It never feels, the back end never starts to squirm under the load. And so, again, that's us towing combined almost 26,000 pounds. To the average truck buyer tows their 26-foot boat, you're never going to get near the limits of this engine. So, I guess long story short, the 2023, we know why they had to do it, because they had to keep up with Ford and Dodge, because everybody's trying to one-up, the other guy and have the most power and torque. But you don't have to fall for it, because you can get a 5-year-old truck or a 10-year-old truck that will do more than what you need and last another 10 or 15 years. A truck lasting at 20 years old is not even remotely out of the question these days. The only thing in our mind that would make us want to buy a new heavy duty is if they came out with the features that are on the new F-150. And we actually went and bought a new F-150 this year, a 2021, which had the Power Boost hybrid and the Pro Power onboard system, which is a 7.2 kilowatt onboard generator based on the hybrid system that can run all the appliances in your trailer if you've got like a camper, or it can run your house if there's a blackout. That is actually a useful innovation that is worth buying a brand new truck to get. We've had so many blackouts this year. A month ago, we had 500,000 customers in Michigan without power. So, yeah, the ability to power your house off your truck, or the ability to power your camper off your truck, that's actually a useful innovation. Plus the adaptive cruise control with lane centering, yeah, that's actually useful too. Very, very useful in terms of cutting down on your fatigue and your workload, your mental workload while you're driving. That's actually a useful innovation. Improves your safety, improves your comfort level, and very much worth buying a new truck. But again, the new Duramax, 1,087 pound-feet of torque, we don't need it. Maybe when you start to tow this kind of load, 18-wheeler size loads, 20+ thousand pound trailers, 30+ thousand pound trailers, yeah, maybe. But for the average person, or even us, towing 48-foot trailers loaded to 26,000 pounds combined, a 10-year-old Duramax will do you just fine. So that's the take from here. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.